Minecraft 1.14 has given us some amazing new features. With all these new crafting blocks and all these new features involving the villagers, the pillagers, and all that extra stuff. A bunch of new crafting materials, blocks we can work with. And yeah, there's a lot of it. I repeated a lot of them right there. And with that, has me looking towards the future. We know Minecraft 1.14 has been around for quite a while now. We're on Minecraft 1.14.4 pretty much now, with the pre-releases and all those things rolling out, and that really got me excited thinking about what could we see in Minecraft 1.15, which hopefully we're going to be hearing more about here at Minecon. A lot of what they have talked about so far, I'm assuming is to be combat update related, but with that, I wanted to look at a few different ideas that I have come up with that I would love to see in the game moving forward. And with that, my name is fWhip, and welcome to the 8 features that I want to see in Minecraft 1.15. There's a bunch of different things that we can be looking at here. I'm super excited about all of them. If you are as well, please be sure to hit that like button down below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. We are actually nearing 100,000 subscribers here on the channel, so any support you all can give would be absolutely amazing. But with that, let's get into this one. The first one here is actually something that Exumavoid and his team were able to create through the statues data pack. Here you can see we have a bunch of tools hanging up here, making it look like we have a bunch of tools on a wall, which I think is absolutely amazing. We are also able to put them on top of anvils or on top of blocks or whatever you might need. So this thing right here is what I want to see moving forwards with this combat update. Imagine being able to live inside of an SMP town and something like that on a multiplayer server, and instead of just every time you go to bed at night, if you're super into the role-playing side of things, instead of having to throw all of your stuff in your bedroom in a chest and just call it good before you go to bed, what if you could hang up your weapons and your tools and all of your armor on a bunch of stuff and be able to take a look at it from there, which is just absolutely, I think that would just be so cool. It adds so much life to villages, and if you're trying to create a shop or something, again, in like a multiplayer setting, and you could display a whole row here of enchanted tools and pickaxes and swords and all that good stuff that you're trying to sell, instead of just having a chest and saying, hey, scroll through this chest. You could have a bunch of these things on display. I think that would look about 1,000,000 times better. Also on top of that, I absolutely love this house design that we're able to come up with here and this small forge design using the brick forge here to contrast against the cobblestone and stone brick of the base of the house, and then the kind of Tutory style up here above. I think it just worked out really, really well. I love this structure, and of course, always hiding a helmet inside of a stair block at the end of your forge can really make the forge feel a lot more alive and like it's being used. Next one up here, this one is a little bit more far-fetched, and I think the best way to display this one here is through a traveling caravan that has been pooped on by quite a few birds, it looks like. What I want to say in this one here is I would love to have the ability to have smaller storage blocks. For example, you can see these paintings right here that I actually created myself quite a while ago. We have a bunch of potions on here. So what if we had all of these potions as a potion rack, and you could right click on the potion rack, it would bring up an inventory, something like this, like using our hopper here. So maybe we have 6 slots instead, so 3 and 3, and then you can take in and out different potions and trade them there and actually define your own characteristics. I think that would go a heck of a lot more towards customization. Maybe you could also do that with bookshelves as well, so you can trade in and out the books, and each enchanted book has its own color to it or something like that. You can make a lot of cool different areas for bookshelves and decorating, and interior decorating would come a lot more alive if we were able to store things in types of settings like these ones. Also, in this case, I love the idea of the wandering merchant that we've had in 1.13. So what if you had a giant wagon that you kind of just transported around in your server and you're selling things off to different people? That would be able to store so much more stuff in here, because this one, like, we have a lot of barrels in here hidden around in different places, but like there's not a whole lot of headroom and walking room without it just feeling like a one wide corridor. But if we have these with our potions over here, our potion racks where we can just grab them off of the rack and call it good, you feel like you're so much more opened up inside of this area. And I think that is purely why I want to see a storage block like this, or a storage something like this, where you can just have things hanging on the side, similar in tow to what we talked about with our first design. Now again, on the same side of things, if any of you are familiar, back in 1.12 and 1.13, actually since the time that shulkers were introduced, you could take a concrete block or a concrete powder block, sand or gravel, and basically go like this, plop a wall down, And if you did this and then you had the concrete powder fall on top of it, it would stay in this weird hovering position right there. And then you could actually take a piston or a shulker box and open it and move it forward. So you could basically get a vertical slab, which was really, really cool. And that thing is something that I used to absolutely love. I wish that was still in the game somehow, but it's not. And the thing that I would love to see here, similar to what we're talking about back in that guy, is I would love to see some sort of a vertical slab, but not just vertical slabs for like stone and cobblestone and stone brick, as cool as those ones would be. But I think if we make these more pointed, they would still fit the Minecraft atmosphere. So we have a kitchen here, for example. We have a bunch of these barrels up here for storage and things like that. We got all of our cooking utensils and stations down here that we might need. Maybe a big old knife or something here sticking in a block of stone. And then right here, instead of just having spruce trapdoors, what if we had like a cupboard block? Similar to what this texture is on the back half of the loom block that we have here. This is actually just the loom going backwards. What if you're able to put like a half slab or a vertical slab version of one of those right there, and you can open it instead of having all these different rows? Maybe it just has one row of storage in there. I think that would be a good workaround in between. And if you add it as like an interior detailing block, people wouldn't fully abuse it, because I know Minecraft was talking about, or Mojang was talking about, not wanting to do those crazy large amount of vertical slabs and saying it's not part of the Minecraft atmosphere. But I think something in between like this, where it has that pointed purpose to it, could really fit in. Behind this wall here, we have what I would consider a wizard's study. And this presents the next thing that I want to have added into the game, and that is the candle. So using our sea pickle right here and retexturing it through Germsy Boy's A Little Taste of Germ texture pack, we come up with these candles, which basically you can place 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I think this would be a great detail block that we could have in here. You could light them up similar to the way that if you go in the water, and let's get some water out here, and we could just plop this right down there and maybe take that one. But if we put water here, you can see the sea pickle gives off light as it goes throughout that area. So if we did that same thing, they can literally reuse that same exact block, same model, same everything, and just have a bunch of candles in here, and then give us a new light source that you can have variable levels of light source. I think that would be absolutely amazing to have in here. So you could really complete that wizard study vibe, because right now this thing has to be pretty bright so that mobs don't spawn in here. But if you had 2 candles lit over there and like 3 candles lit over here, like that could work out really well to create a lot of atmosphere around this area without really totally just lighting it up or allowing a bunch of mobs to spawn every time you walk into your wizard study. Currently in Minecraft, we have the red mushroom, we have the brown mushroom, and attached to those we have the brown mushroom block, red mushroom block, and the mushroom stem block. I think that is something that is really, really great to have, because I love using the mushrooms inside of my own world. But what if we added to them? And instead of just having mushrooms that stand down flat and are kind of boring like that, what if we brought a few more types of mushrooms? And I think these ones would go great inside of the dark oak forest to add to that atmosphere. But if we have this kind of like fans, here they're just a retexture of the dead coral fan. But in this case, you could have a mushroom block like that one. And another example would be this guy right over here, which looks like that little thingy right there, which is just a bunch of different types of mushrooms. You could use these inside of caves, inside of custom forests, and a bunch of different other places. I think more things like this, more detail bits that we can add to builds to bring them a lot more alive. And this doesn't introduce any new models. It doesn't introduce anything really that new into the game. We already have mushrooms, and we already have a type of model that exists like this one. So what if we just add those in here together? Now this one, again, I did not create the texture pack or the texture for these myself. Somebody in my Discord, actually by the name of Gandalf, posted a screenshot with it, and the White Wizard himself sent over these textures so I could use them moving forwards. Unfortunately, he doesn't really know the name of the person he got them from either. He just found them online. So whoever you are, if you knew, or if any of you know who these came from, please let us know down in the comments. I would love to give them credit where credit is due. Hopefully you all are enjoying the video so far. Be sure to hit that like button if you have not yet. Really helps the channel out here. Love it so much. And our next design here is a custom tree, but there's a few more things added onto it. If any of you have watched my single player survival series, Build On With fWhip, you know I love to use custom tree designs like these ones. However, the new thing inside of these is the log wall. We retextured the endstone brick wall here to do this one, but imagine if you had log wall blocks or wood log walls, say that 5 times fast, And you were able to have this for every single texture. So you had the spruce one, the birch, etc., and the birch being the best log block out there that there is. I think that could be something really awesome for building custom trees. Again, we already have this model in the game. It would be something really cool. I remember using these back when I used to play in Conquest Reforged. They were so great for building custom trees. Right now, all we can really do is we have the full block, and you can take one of these handy dandy fences and say that that is a small limb of the tree. That is it. That's pretty much all we can do. And if you're trying to make smaller, more detailed trees, you can't really do much because you're basically bound to either this guy right here, or you're bound to using a full block for the trunk. But if we were able to say use this guy right here instead, you can make a lot more custom tree designs that would just be so cool, because you could have one like this. Maybe you make a small little spruce tree right here. So you can literally do just something like bam, bam, and then there you go. You could put in just a bunch of leaves around that, and you got a tiny tree there, and it doesn't look too weird. The size and the proportions are all very correct, instead of right now we have to go very much a level of disbelief to do this one. This one right here is probably something that I know a lot of people are wanting, and a lot of people are really looking forward into the community here. More crops. I would absolutely love to have more crops inside of the game. Here we are featuring the corn. This is a 2 tall plant that you could harvest. You get corn, you can make meal out of it, you can make food, you can give it to animals and all that stuff. It would really open the door for a lot of new functionality with the game. Adding in the corn here would really allow for a lot. And also, come on, cornfields, those are pretty epic. This texture here is contributed by Germsy Boy. Again, through his latest release of his most recent texture pack update, he introduced the corn instead of this is actually just beetroot. So he retextured beetroot to be corn inside of vanilla Minecraft. I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea, and I would love to see more of these moving forwards. If Mojang was able to have just a farming update instead of a combat update, guys, this would be absolutely amazing. Imagine having so many different types of crops throughout the game that you aren't limited to what do we got now. We got, if we go into seeds, we got carrots, pumpkins, melons, beetroot. On top of that, let's see, we got, well, not carrots, we got wheat, and then we also have carrots and potatoes. And then on top of that, you will see a lot of people, myself included, who love to come in here, take our lilac plant and call this lavender, and just put it down in these long rows like that and call it lavender, which is kind of a good workaround. It does add a lot of cool colors to the fields and everything that you're going with there, but I think that it would be so sweet to have actual new ones. For the final one, I would like to see added into Minecraft 1.15. A lot of you probably are familiar with me using this as a workaround for a very, very long time now inside of the survival world. I would love to see wool slabs. I think wool is one of those great blocks that we can make a lot of amazing things. And for example, it's like something that you weave together. Like we take the sheep, like we shear the sheep and we get our wool and all that stuff. When we have a full block there, we now have the loom also to put the wool in and create some really cool banner designs. But like, why can't we turn those into slabs? That's kind of where I'm at here. Like these types of tents that we're creating here using quartz, you can only create white ones. What if we had a bunch of all those different types of wool, having slabs and potentially stairs of them? I think slabs would be a good start here, but you'd be able to make so many more interesting tent designs instead of having to have all of the super bulky designs like that guy right over there, where there's just a bunch of blocks piled up on top of it. Imagine if you're able to smooth that out with slabs and make sure it's not falling off totally down to the one side or something like that. I think that would be an amazing workaround. Anyways, though, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed 8 features that I want to see added into Minecraft 1.15. I had so much fun coming up with all of these designs. If you guys have any ideas on what you want to see added into Minecraft 1.15, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys all so much for watching the episode again today. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you on the flip side.